Good day, viewers. Welcome once again to your favorite program, our favorite program, The Conversation, coming to you live from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Nelson Ekujumi, and I have with me in the studio today Peter Clever Okpara. Peter, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Like we all know, and we have always said, The Conversation is a topical issue program on matters happening within Nigeria and in the outside world. And top of the bill today, we want to look at the court case, the Supreme Court judgment. You recollect some few weeks back, about 16 state governments took the EFCC to court challenging the legality of the body, describing its creation as an illegal, and that it is illegal in existence. And before you could say Jack, some senior lawyers joined the fray and they were giving their opinion. And when I was asked for my opinion on it, I said, well, the EFCC is the creation of an act of parliament. And I don't know what makes a body more legal than an act of parliament, which is the constitutional provisions for anybody to be set up in a country. And I said, so long as the Nigerian parliament has used that instrument as prescribed by law, we'll wait for the Supreme Court to determine the legality or otherwise. And all this attack on EFCC gained prominence just because the former governor of Kogi State has been having a running battle with the EFCC over issues surrounding account of his stewardship in Kogi State. And as we speak, a court of competent jurisdiction has summoned him to make a physical appearance. I think the case is coming up soon. Whether he will honor the court order or not, we'll keep that for another day. But the good thing about the matter is that the Supreme Court, by unanimous decision, struck out the petition of the petitioners challenging the legality of the EFCC unanimously. And that tells you one fact, that the fight against corruption is not something where we can leave to the EFCC alone, to fight. It's something that we must all come on board. I don't think the EFCC has faced this much attack under the present leadership, just because of the fact that the present leadership of EFCC has shown its resourcefulness, has shown its determination, has shown its focus that corruption must be fought. And just some days back, I was listening to the news where the chairman of EFCC was drilling out the achievements, the amount of money they have recovered. And so if we understand the damage that corruption has done to our country and we continue to do, I think it builds on us to condemn those governments, which are government set up, which are government that that derive their legitimacy from the same constitution that set up the EFCC. You can imagine, it's like one throwing stones into his own house, or like late Chief M.K. Abiola used to say, urinating into a well from which you want to drink water. But the Supreme Court has given its judgment. I think they only have these governments who are in sync with corruption. I think they have only one option. They can appeal to God, because I don't know where they can appeal to again.
Thank you very much. I think the first thing I felt would have been done is the publicization of those 16 governors that went to court. These are very, very important, even in the fight against corruption. A hall of shame has to come on in this country, because I don't know what could have moved the governor to go against any war on corruption. Now, having said that, the Supreme Court has ruled as everybody knows it would have ruled, because it would have been very strange if the Supreme Court at the end of the day had said, no, EFCC is illegal.
It's an illegal body.
And I don't know even what they were thinking. I mean, those governors, I don't know what they were thinking. But then,
no, maybe they thought they could intimidate.
Then, yes, whichever way. But then, what is left now is for the EFCC to tighten its nose, to do much more, to keep these governors, because the state governments are centers of cash. You know, they are centers of resources. And because of that, they want a system where nobody checks them, where they have free rein to do with state money as they deem fit. I think the EFCC has to come on now with tighter policies to make sure that they are put on the dock, so that having lost the battle to dismantle the fight against corruption,
yes,
they should be at the receiving end of the fight against corruption.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, I didn't see any possibility that the Supreme Court would at the end of that accede to the request of the 16 governors, because it is strange. You know, it is strange.
And Peter, you know, for me, what intrigued me and became a source of embarrassment to me as a layman was a senior advocate of Nigeria.
A senior advocate of Nigeria, whoever he is.
No, just a minute.
He has interest.
Peter, just a minute.
Yes.
A senior advocate of Nigeria, who is a member of the inner bar,
okay,
who should know the law better than the man on the street or at the bus stop.
Okay.
While the case was in court, had the temerity to write to the National Assembly,
okay,
that the EFCC is an illegal. Was he asking the National Assembly to revoke, to delve into a matter that is already in court, when he knows that that amounts to subjudice? That shows you clearly, like we say, it was the voice of Esau.
That's where I'm
But the hand of Jacob, how do you put it?
The said senior advocate of Nigeria may be
the voice of Jacob, but the hand of Esau.
An interested party. You know, he may be in chummy relationship with the governors for, you know what actually butters this kind of relationship? Self-interest, you know. So if he does such letter, one is that now you look at it very well, like you say, it sounds unreasonable. But then he is pursuing a selfish interest. That he is pursuing the selfish interest does not mean that maybe the system will accede to him. Now, having done that, like I said, the best way to react for the EFCC, for the anti-corruption agencies, is to make sure that you tighten the noose on the governor, so that they know that nothing will spare them from
being called to question.
Yes, scrutiny at the end of the day,
yes,
on how they use public funds, because that is the heart of the fight.
The fight, yes.
The access to public funds.
Resources,
You know,
yes.
They want a situation where nobody questions them. You use funds as you like, and all those things. And as I said, you use some to hire senior lawyers, in quote, you know, who will be writing nonsensical letters that they know will not cross the front desk.
Just like some of us son.
Yeah.
After the 2023 presidential election.
Okay.
You can imagine telling us that if a winner does not score 25% in the FCC. I said in America now, we are waiting for them to come out and say...
They have to say certain things to get the confidence of their clients, or to get their clients to pay them. At the end of the day, like I say, it's self-interest that rules the relationship between a lawyer and his clients. It's self-interest, because the lawyer may be looking at the money that is coming from the brief and be telling you, don't worry. When we go there, we prove to them that if you don't have 25% in Abuja, I will never be sworn as president. Even when they know that it is very, very
illogical and irrational,
that it will never fly. They know. But at the back of their minds, they know, because nothing sustains such argument. That's the same thing with the listen. Now, believing maybe you woke up one day and say, see, that EFCC is illegal. But
no, if the
EFCC have been operational for years.
From 2001.
Or previous governors never raised, or any other person, or even the so-called senior lawyer, maybe who may be holding their brief, never raised this issue.
Yes.
And you now suddenly felt that you will raise up that issue and it will fly. No problem. They will raise the issue. It is now left for the lawyers to, support
advance
them,
their arguments.
to continue, because the more they proceed, the more money he makes at the end of the day. And these are not ordinary clients you talk about.
Yes.
They have the
these are clients that have watches.
The state covers to play with. All those things. Oh, why not? Let us go to the Supreme Court. But as I said, there had to be a National Hall of Shame. Yes, National Hall of Shame. A governor that ordered his Attorney General or any lawyer to go to court
to challenge
the existence of
the fight against corruption
has to come, under the National Hall of Shame, so that others will not take that
line of
at the end of
shame.
the day. That's my own feeling. It will help in fighting corruption.
I agree with you. It's a shame that we live in a society today where people saddle with constitutional authority take the people who have entrusted them with that power for granted. If not, no responsible governor, no responsible and responsive, wielder of state authority should even be bold enough to challenge an institution, even if EFCC does not even have a legal backing. That okay, it is the people that sat down in the People's Assembly and said, this body, we must fight corruption, we must ensure that resources meant for all of us is used for all of us and not for some few. Abba. The governors, it's a big shame, but we say big kudos to the Supreme Court for that landmark judgment. I think it has put paid to the attempts to have a free reign to our public resources. And to the EFCC, we want to admonish that this judgment is a confirmation of the trust of the Nigerian people.
So the government should fire their zeal to do more.
Absolutely.
To do more. There are many forms of corruption all over the place.
They should be giving more. They should be giving more resources and more tools to do their work. Well,
and they themselves should also be do the work with clean hands.
Yes,
because there have been accusations.
No, accusations can fly, but we must actually evidence.
There have been accusations that some operatives of EFCC use that to extort money from public officials.
Peter,
those things must be looked into.
No, every institution have their own good and bad eggs. But there's no serious institution or no institution established by state as the authority to deviate from the path that the Constitution has set for it, or else it will amount to an abuse of office, and it will attract appropriate disciplinary actions. We have seen that done severally, and we can only call on the EFCC leadership to ensure that its men are up and doing that. They remain focused.
The bad eggs within the system.
They remain focused. They remain, professional in their duty. The Nigerian people are with them. This fight against corruption, where we must all key into it to make our society better. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we want to call it a wrap on the first stanza of the program, The Conversation. We'll go on a short break. We'll be right back. Please continue to watch The Conversation coming to you from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. We'll be right back.